Incredible. Thank you so much, Kike. He's just so innovative, so original. I have absolutely no doubt why he's so successful, because he's so creative in everything he does. And the fear of failure, forget the fear of failure. It's the #1 barrier for entrepreneurship. This is the #1 barrier in the ecosystem for everyone. People just don't launch. People just don't go for it for their fear of failure. So, I love that message from Kike Sarsola. Folks, please grab your seats, sit down. We have a really special segment right now, backstage, ready to come. We have an intimate fireside chat with two of los grandes de Madrid, internationally renowned. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome to the stage our fearless leader and founder, María Benjumea, who's going to have a fireside chat with the great Carlos Torres, Executive Chairman of BBVA.
Hello, Carlos.
Hello.
We are so happy having you here in this, that is your house, because this is South Summit, is our South Summit. And, well, as we know very well you, and we know your organization, BBVA, that since the beginning, you know, I've been working with BBVA since the 90s. And since the 90s, there were two magic words for BBVA: innovation and technology. Always that I had to speak about BBVA were those two magic words. That's why we have wanted to leave this fireside, this to be with you, just the last one, because we want to congratulate you and to thank you for being always with us.
Thanks to you, Maria. It's really great to be back one more year and to see with my own eyes how the event is getting bigger every year and increasing its success. It's really a privilege, so thank you for
Thank you
having
very
us.
much. Thank you very much to you. And I would like to talk about this one magic that we have talked about is innovation, and how innovation is key for the transformation we are living, and how we have to innovate permanently. And the second one is a new one, and is key at this moment, and it's about data. So let's start about innovation. You know that our claim is where innovation makes business. And I think that that could be perfectly BBVA's claim, because it's just your strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Our strategy is very linked to innovation, internal and external to entrepreneurship. We believe, I was saying this even last year when I came here, entrepreneurship is the lifeblood of society, is the process through which new solutions are developed for old problems, or even new questions that were never asked before. So we have, for many years now, and as you correctly pointed out, we have been pioneers of investing in the ecosystem and partnering with the ecosystem to drive innovation. Innovation is one of our key values. We have 3 big ideas at BBVA. We believe that we are in a new age, and an age of opportunity, mostly because of technology. And our purpose is to bring that age of opportunity to everyone. And we do it through really embracing technology and data, using technology and data to help our clients make better decisions around money, and thereby meeting their life goals or their business goals. And three values drive our behavior. Client comes first, a very simple one. We think big, and we're one team. Thinking big means innovation, means breaking the mold, means surprising the client. Some ideas come from within. Mostly it's the external world that is changing. We need to bring that change inside, otherwise we will be dead in the long term. If the pace of innovation inside is not as high as outside, we will be outpaced by the innovators, the entrepreneurs. That's why we have, for example, one of the, actually the longest running fintech competition, our Open Talent competition, for 12 years running, the largest in the world also. That's why we have been partners with South Summit, ecosystem partners for so many years, and we continue to be. We have our innovation center That's why we invest in startups. We purchase some of them, like Simple, like Atom, where we have a big stake, or Holvi, or OpenPay, or many others, or some of which are developed in-house, like Aslo or Cobalt, etc. We also have a large investment in two private venture capital funds, one in which we are the sole limited partner, Propel Venture Partners, $250 million amount committed a few years ago. Most of it has been invested already, but we also have another 50 million in Innovation Ventures, targeting AI investments in China. So those are just a few of the ideas. We have partnerships with large fintechs as well, large big techs, some small ones. So quite a variety of open innovation initiatives. We also, and sorry, maybe I'm going on too long, but it's really one of the pillars of what we're doing. We also support different type of entrepreneurs, more social entrepreneurs, through our microfinance foundation, which is the largest private philanthropy effort in South America and Latin America. It's also a 11-year-old foundation, has channeled $12 billion in productive credit to small-scale entrepreneurs who are at the verge of poverty, and has helped already 5 million people who are vulnerable through those productive credits.
That's great, because it's just the whole line, from the very business to the business, but in other questions. But I would like, and I would love, to center in the key and the magic word nowadays, is data. You use, well, thousands and millions and more millions of data. How do you really work with it? And how can you add value to your business and to the society about data?
Yeah, clearly data is exploding, and we are in a data revolution. It's affecting every business, and will be affecting every business more and more as we will go forward. Data has always been around, and in banking, of course, our business has very much been a data business. When you were talking about innovation and technology being keywords for BBVA, turning information into knowledge has also been a key idea in our strategy, even going back 20 years ago. But now what we have is, because of changes in how much data is collected as we live our lives and run our businesses, everything is actually collected and stored. We have sensors that are exploding everywhere. So the steps we take, the people we meet, the hotels we are in, the conversations we have, everything is recorded, even footage with our image in it, and so on. So as we have that digital footprint that is now ever-present everywhere, everything is recorded, and we have computation ability to process that data and make sense of it, the opportunities are endless to innovate and really solve all problems in a better way, as I was saying at the beginning. So that's why data is so critical as part of, I think, every business's strategy, and clearly in banking, it's one of the ways through which we can help our clients make better decisions around money, so that they can meet their life goals or their business goal, as I was saying. So applying technology to data will continue to be a key area of innovation for us. That would drive a lot of value for the client. We have already seen how digitization has increased the Net Promoter Score, which is the basic measure we use to see how we are advancing in our purpose, how satisfied our customers are with what we bring to them. As most of you surely know, we have been ranked as #1 mobile banking app in the world for a third straight year by Forrester. This was just last week. So they have surveyed 50 mobile banking apps around the world, and BBVA's came up as #1. So that drives a better experience, which drives a better NPS scores. That's why we're now #1 in NPS in 5 of the countries where we operate. Digitization has also brought a lot of benefits to our business in terms of increasing revenues and reducing costs, the very basic equation that we're all striving for in business. So innovation has helped business in that way. We have crossed the tipping point of digital customers last year, more than 50% of our customers digital last year. We have crossed the tipping point of mobile customers this year, and we're going to cross the tipping point of digital sales sometime next year. We are now at 44% of all sales at BBVA are through the digital channel. Now, and that was maybe 10% 3 years ago, less than 10% 3 years ago. So huge shift in how our customers interact with us. The next frontier will be really leveraging data in a much bigger way. We're doing some things. We have in our app, for example, this best app in the world. We have a good prediction engine to forecast cash flows, your cash flows, our clients' cash flows, so that there's no surprises. You can set alerts, so when things happen in your account that are different from what the forecast that BBVA had was. And really, we are building a self-driving bank account. If you want things to be more automated, simplified, so that you don't have to spend time yourself, or that you minimize the mistakes around managing your money, because data is doing the work for you. So those are some of the examples of how we will be leveraging. We're already doing it, and we will be doing more of it.
It's incredible, all the possibilities, really, that we have. But one issue that is really important. What are the rules of the game, of the new reality that you are describing us?
Yeah, that's a great question.
What are the challenges, and how can we take advantage of all this?
Yeah, I was saying it's a great question because there's really quite a mess in terms of what the rules are for using data for business. And given that it's so critical for every business, I think we need to get our act together and really develop a consistent set of rules worldwide. I'll refer to that a bit later. The dynamics are a bit dangerous in the sense that there is this positive feedback loop that is a bit like a virtuous circle. So the more data you have, the better value proposition you can provide to customers, because you can better personalize, you can better advise, you can leverage that data to bring more business. More business brings more data. So this positive spiral is what is behind many of the, this network effect really is what's behind the success of many of the large digital players that are exploiting data to enter new business lines, many times far away from where they started. And they can really conquer all domains, all sectors. Data regulation is very necessary to ensure that there is a level playing field and that we mitigate the potential negative effects of concentration because of this positive spiral effect. Now, right now, we have quite a dispersed set of rules. More than 100 countries have passed data regulation rules, but they are different. Even within the same country, they are different. And that creates a lot of lack of customer protection and level playing field, really asymmetrical reaping of the benefits between the customers and the providers, and we really need to change all of that.
But we have the challenges also about digitalizations. In this world that really we have no borders. Here, this is a new world for everyone, a new world that we have our market is all around. But how do you face all your challenges about digitalizations and mix it with data, and how are you going to face it?
Well, it's an ongoing effort. We have really transformed the bank very significantly to focus on three key things: people, data, and technology. And really, technology is a means to leverage data, and the people continue to be essential. So those are the three key levers to succeed in this changing world. On data, our point of view is quite clear. So as I was talking, that regulation needs to converge to a standard worldwide, a bit like what happened with the trade rules that used to be quite messy. Now we have a World Trade Organization, or even in financial services. We used to have very different regulation across the world, but through the Financial Stability Board, sponsored by the G20, they developed a set of common rules. The same should happen with data. And the basis for those rules should be the recognition that data is really a personal right of the data subject, company or individual. From that recognition follows that data should only be used when there's consent. And I think even though that principle has been enshrined in Europe in our legislation, our directive, the General Data Protection Regulation, the regulation, it's really not, the approach has not yet been made very practical. So the way we provide our consent and we accept our terms and conditions for our data to be used is really not very practical, very transparent. So there's some work that needs to get done on that front. Beyond that, though, data is a very specific asset that is different than oil. So people talk about data being the new oil. It's different. Oil gets depleted with use, and data is not. So you can use data even simultaneously by many firms, and the data is still there. And data is what has value in the new economy. It can be used multiple times, so it makes sense that it can be used multiple times. Instead of being kept like today in silos. So the companies that gather the data keep it in silos. That includes us. So we gather data from our customers, and we have always thought about it as our data, proprietary data. It's actually our customers' data. Same with all the big tech data. They gather the data, but it's your data. It's the people's data. Yeah. And recognizing that implies not only the data can only be used with consent, but that if I consent, the data should flow to other providers, not be siloed. So it can be reused and reused and reused, and that would generate welfare, would generate a lot of value. So that's the direction through which we need to travel. So we believe that recognition that data is a personal right, it's personal property of the data subject, shared through consent, only used through consent, shared if there is consent, mandatory for the incumbent that has gathered that data. And the way that should be done should be through, of course, a secure direct communication, real-time, standardized, and so on. In some sectors, like banking in Europe, some pieces of that regulation are there already. We have the Payment Services Directive 2 that mandates that the transaction data for the last 2 years is accessible through APIs in a standardized format, real-time, by registered payment providers. Great idea. This should be extended not only to transaction data, but to all data. And it should be extended not only in banking, to all sectors. Telecom data, purchases online, e-commerce, travel, anything. If you want, your data should serve you, not only the provider that has gathered it. That would have immense benefits in terms of introducing more competition, reducing switching barriers, and so on. But today, it's quite a mess. Even within Europe, the rules are different in banking than in telecom than in e-commerce. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's great. I recommend all of you to read a magnificent article in FT, in Financial Times, your article in Financial Times. It was absolutely great. And you were talking just about that.
Exactly.
How you are doing it very well, and you have regulated, and you manage quite well about banking, but how, and I think it's really key what you are saying. This is one thing is important for all of us. It's our data, it's our value, isn't it?
It's where the value lies.
Yeah.
And right now it's not being shared correctly.
Yeah.
And it's not even exploited correctly. And the way rules are set now, it will lead to huge network effects, gatekeeper roles by large companies that will continue to concentrate power instead of inducing competition on a level playing field. I'm
sure you're working with the shareholders and with the key players just to make this done.
The complexity, of course, is that in this world where we have trade wars and tech wars and geopolitical interests that are divergent, it is not easy to get everyone on the same page.
Yeah.
But we have done it before on trade. Now it's going back, but we did have quite a messy situation 34 years ago, and it has really improved, even if now there's some setbacks. And I believe, I'm quite optimistic that data regulation could follow the same path. So we're doing our bit, for sure, to try to influence policymakers in Europe and around the world to push in this direction.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm optimistic like you, and I think that altogether we have to work getting this, because this is absolutely key for everyone, no?
Absolutely.
For business, for people, for everyone. Carlos, thank you very, very much for being here with us, I'm sure that you have maybe a last message you want to send to us, or about something, because you count on us, on all of us, not only on South Summit, that you know that you count on South Summit, but you count with all of us, yes, for this big challenge that is our challenge.
So my message would be really of encouragement to you and to the entire team that put this together to continue along this path. I think it is great that we bring people together from different aspects of life, entrepreneurs, investors, and a lot of business people, because through those connections is how the magic happens, that innovation makes the world a better place. And really we can progress as a society in solving the old problems and the new ones as well, including, as we heard, the ones associated with making the world a more sustainable place.
Yeah.
I think innovation can really have an impact solving that problem. So thanks to you, Maria, and all of our encouragement from BBVA and our support as ecosystem partner going forward to continue your efforts to do this.
Thank you very much. Your last words were great, sustainability. Thank you.